If your daylilies suddenly stopped blooming this July, you've probably blamed the heat. Everyone does. It feels like the obvious answer. The sun gets brutal, the plant looks tired, so of course it stops flowering, right? Here's the thing. That's almost never what's actually happening. Daylilies are some of the toughest, most heat-tolerant perennials you can grow. A little summer sun isn't what's shutting down your blooms. Something else is going on in your garden right now. Something small, something almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it every time you walk past your flower bed. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your daylilies quit blooming, and the fix takes about 10 seconds a day. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the real reasons daylilies slow down or stop blooming in July, and none of them involve the weather. We'll talk about what's happening inside the plant, what most people accidentally do wrong without realizing it, and the one tiny daily habit that can bring the blooms right back. You don't need special tools. You don't need to replant anything. You don't need a green thumb or years of experience. This is the kind of fix that takes seconds, costs nothing, and works with plants you already have in the ground. By the time this video ends, you'll be able to walk outside, look at your daylilies, and know exactly what they need. If you've ever stood in your garden in July, staring at a patch of daylilies that were covered in blooms just a few weeks ago, wondering what you did wrong, you are not alone. This is one of the most common frustrations gardeners run into every single summer. And it's not because you're a bad gardener. It's because nobody ever explains what's actually happening underneath the surface. Most advice out there just says it's the heat and leaves it at that. That answer feels true, so people accept it and move on. Here on Stress-Free Garden Living, we do things differently. We believe gardening should be simple, low effort, and based on what's actually true, not guesswork. So let's clear this up once and for all. Before we get into the biology of why this happens, I want you to remember one number: 10 seconds. That's how long the fix takes once you know what to look for. It's so simple that most people who hear it for the first time can't believe it's real. We'll get there. But first, you need to understand what's really going on with your daylilies. Let's start by clearing up the biggest misunderstanding. Daylilies are not delicate plants. They didn't earn the nickname, the perfect perennial, by falling apart the moment temperatures rise. These plants can handle full sun, hot afternoons, and long summer days without any trouble at all. So if heat isn't shutting down your blooms, what is? The truth is, blooming is controlled by the plant's biology and by a few small habits in how it's cared for. Once you understand these, July die-off stops being a mystery and starts being something you can actually manage. Reason 1. Your daylilies' natural bloom window. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. Not all daylilies bloom at the same time of year. Some varieties are early season bloomers, some are mid-season, and some are late season. Each type has a bloom window that's built into its genetics. Why this matters? If the daylilies in your garden are early season varieties, they were always going to finish blooming by early or mid-July. It has nothing to do with stress or heat. It's simply the natural end of their cycle for the year. Picture it like this. Imagine your daylilies as employees on different shifts. Some clock in early in the season and finish their shift by early summer. Others are just getting started in July and won't peak until later. If you only planted early bloomers, of course your garden looks quiet by July. Those plants already did their job. The simple action step here is to check the variety tags or do a quick search on the specific daylily types you planted. If they're early bloomers, there's nothing wrong with your plant at all. You might just want to add a few mid or late season varieties next season for continuous color. Now, that first reason explains some cases, but for a lot of you, that's not the full story. There's something else happening in your garden right now that's actively working against your blooms, and it's something almost every gardener does without realizing it. Reason 2. Spent blooms are stealing the plant's energy. Here's a pattern interrupt for you. Every single flower that fades on your daylily and gets left on the plant is quietly draining its energy. This tip is called deadheading, and it might be the single most overlooked habit in daylily care. When a bloom fades, the plant naturally tries to form a seed pod. Producing seeds takes a tremendous amount of energy that would otherwise go toward creating new flower buds. Why this works? Daylilies operate on a limited energy budget each season. If that energy gets redirected into seed production, there's simply less left over for new blooms. It's not that the plant is tired or damaged by heat. It's investing its resources into the wrong project. Visually, imagine two identical daylily clumps side by side. One has been deadhead regularly all season. The other hasn't been touched. By July, the deadhead clump is still pushing out fresh blooms, while the neglected one has slowed to a stop, its energy tied up in seed pods instead of flowers. The action step is simple. Walk your garden every day or two and snap off any faded blooms and spent flower stalks, called scapes, once they're done producing. This alone can make a massive difference in how long your blooming season lasts. Reason 3. Overcrowded roots. Here's another pattern interrupt. If you haven't divided your daylily clumps in 3 or 4 years, they might be fighting each other underground. Daylilies spread and multiply over time, which is wonderful, until the clump gets so dense that all those plants are competing for the same water and nutrients in a small patch of soil. When that happens, bloom production drops, even if the plant looks healthy above ground. Why this happens? Think of it like too many people trying to share one small pizza. Everyone gets a little, but nobody gets enough to thrive. The roots are doing the same thing underground, splitting limited resources among too many crowns. Late July is actually a great time to notice this problem, because a crowded clump will look thick and leafy, but produce noticeably fewer blooms than it used to. The action step. If it's been several years since you divided your daylilies, mark this on your calendar for early fall or early spring. The best times to dig up, split, and replant them with more room to breathe. Let's talk about a mistake almost everyone makes without knowing it: over-fertilizing with the wrong type of fertilizer. A lot of gardeners reach for a general all-purpose fertilizer that's high in nitrogen, thinking more feeding means more flowers. In reality, too much nitrogen pushes the plant to grow lush, leafy green foliage instead of blooms. The plant essentially prioritizes leaves over flowers. What daylilies actually need for strong blooming is a fertilizer with more balanced or higher phosphorus and potassium, the nutrients that specifically support flower and root development. If your daylilies look like a jungle of healthy green leaves, but very few flowers, this could be exactly what's happening in your soil. Reason 4. Inconsistent watering. The last major factor is watering, but not in the way you might think. It's not about watering more because it's hot. It's about watering consistently. Daylilies prefer deep, even watering rather than quick, shallow sprinkles here and there. When watering is inconsistent, dry one week, soak the next, the plant experiences stress at the root level. That stress causes it to conserve energy rather than put it toward producing new blooms. Why this works the way it does? Consistent moisture allows the root system to function normally, absorbing nutrients efficiently and supporting steady bud development. Irregular watering forces the plant into survival mode, where blooming becomes a lower priority than simply staying alive. The action step. Aim for a deep watering session once or twice a week rather than frequent light watering, adjusting based on your soil type and rainfall. Now here's the part you've been waiting for, the 10-second fix that ties all of this together. Every single day, or every time you walk past your daylilies, take 10 seconds to snap off any faded blooms and spent flower stalks. That's it. No tools required, no cost involved, no special skill needed. This one tiny habit directly addresses the biggest hidden cause of July blooming slowdown: energy being wasted on seed production instead of new flowers. When you remove those spent blooms daily, you're essentially telling the plant, don't bother making seeds. Put that energy into more flowers instead. Combine this daily habit with the right variety selection, proper spacing through division, balanced fertilizing, and consistent watering, and you'll have daylilies that keep blooming far longer than you ever thought possible, without turning gardening into a chore. So the next time your daylilies seem to stop blooming in July, you'll know exactly what's really going on. It was never about the heat. It's about bloom timing, spent flowers stealing energy, overcrowded roots, the wrong fertilizer, and inconsistent watering. The best part is that fixing this doesn't require more work in your garden. It requires smarter, simpler habits. That's what stress-free gardening is all about. Small, easy actions that create big results, without turning your yard into a second job. Once you start applying these tips, you'll likely notice your daylilies blooming longer and stronger, season after season, with barely any extra effort on your part. If this video helped you understand your daylilies a little better, do me a favor and hit subscribe. On this channel, we're all about growing more with less effort, so you can actually enjoy your garden instead of stressing over it. Before you go, I'd love to know two things. First, which of these tips are you going to try first? Deadheading, dividing, adjusting your fertilizer, or fixing your watering routine? Drop it in the comments below. And second, what variety of daylilies are you growing? I'm working on a follow-up video about the best rebloomer varieties that flower all summer long, and I want to make sure I cover the ones you're actually growing in your garden. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.